Welcome to our Catastrophic Impairment series, where we'll be digging into topics related to catastrophic impairment. In our video today, we're going to be looking at the differences that language, background, and culture create in catastrophic impairment cases, and how an experienced law firm will adapt their approach to support these differences. So let's start off with some introductions. My name is Roger Foisy. I'm the principal lawyer at Foisy Associates, a personal injury law firm in Ontario that is dedicated to helping accident victims and their families secure fair accident benefit settlements. Today, we will be chatting with several members of our team as we openly discuss culture and language and how we approach them in our cases. So let me introduce the team. To my left, I have Harpreet Sidhu. To his left is Rusald Laloshi. Then we've got Daniel Berman and Rutumi Tank. All right, so let's jump into it. Russell, let's start off with you and let's talk about language and how that may be a barrier for clients in speaking with their healthcare practitioners.
Sure. So a lot of times what we run into is, of course, when it comes to medical assessments arranged by insurance companies, there's usually a translator that's been arranged for most languages out there. What the translation does not account for is differences in dialects between the same language. Oftentimes, there is direct interpretation of the what the patient might complain about. However, the intonation and the severity and sometimes even the words chosen by the interpreters and translators are not precisely, accurately reporting what is going on in the person's life. So it's a lot less emotional, it's a lot less impactful. So a medical professional might not necessarily understand the severity of the issue because of that language barrier. Another thing that we tend to notice a lot of times is the fact that medical testing, especially mental health testing, does not necessarily account for differences in culture. It's much more built towards a Western culture, and so it does not account for differences in how someone might perceive their issues if they're from a different culture. And so that is a common issue that tends to come up all the time. And we have to constantly train our clients to ensure that they're accurately and they're monitoring, and sometimes just bring someone with you to the assessment that actually is maybe a family member or relative that can really convey the issues to the medical assessors or doctors, even your family doctor. One of the problems with culture, and maybe Harpreet, you can probably take this over, is that the fact that culture doesn't always get translated appropriately.
Absolutely. And language is for sure a critical issue, but what we find in a lot of our clients is their cultural background really tends to inform how they're reporting issues and whether they're reporting it to begin with. Because there are cultural backgrounds out there where it's frowned upon to show any signs of weakness, and that for them might come through them reporting that they're suffering from different issues and different injuries as a result of a motor vehicle accident they've been in. So those types of clients may choose to either underreport or just not report at all. And that becomes a problem when we're looking at catastrophic impairment, because catastrophic impairment and meeting that legal definition focuses on a client's ability to function. And if the client is underreporting their issues or not really speaking to them, or they're not coming out through the medical testing as you explained, it hinders their ability to meet that definition. When you contrast that with our Western culture, we've been taught that we should advocate for ourselves. If we're told something by our medical practitioner, we may question it. If we go to treatment and we find that it's not helping us, we will try to find alternatives, because we know that that doesn't have to be the be all or end all, or that's not our end game. But in a lot of other cultures, doctors, medical practitioners, they're revered. And so when those clients are told that there's no hope for them, for example, by an insurance company, or that they're told that they should be better by now, they'll believe it. If they go to treatment, whether it's physio or psychological treatment, and it's been going on for a while, they'll believe that I should be getting better, even if that may not be the case. And that just comes from their cultural background. And that presents a problem not only with meeting the definition of catastrophic impairment, but also ensuring that clients get the adequate treatment that they need.
And this silence of not wanting to express yourself or talk about difficult things is something that we've noticed with our clients. And I think maybe Rutumi, you can delve into that and explain what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. This is definitely something that is more prominent when it comes to individuals that come from minority backgrounds, and especially as a woman, it's something that you see more often. For example, one of the most underreported issues among women and minority cultures is issues with sexual function. And it's really unfortunate because there's often a taboo associated with reporting these things and being vocal about it. It's unfortunate because it doesn't get factored into your impairment rating, and it could mean the difference of you being declared catastrophic.
And that's great information, Rutumi, about the physical aspects of catastrophic determination. But we also have a huge component that is often missed, which is the mental behavioral component. Maybe you can take that, Danny, and explain that to our viewers.
Yeah, that's right, Roger. Mental health issues and psychological issues are a major component for catastrophic claims, especially for our clients. And, in certain cultures, we live in Canada, it's a multicultural society with people of a variety of backgrounds, and mental health and psychological issues tend to be underreported. They're sensitive topics. There's certain stigmas surrounding mental health. One topic in particular is medication, for example. In certain cultures, medication tends to have negative stigmas surrounding it. And, some cultures may prefer holistic, more natural medications. And, they might not know that you can speak to your doctors about, seeking alternative medication or alternative medicines or types of therapy. So the second topic for mental health and psychological issues is clients reporting their issues to their doctors. And Harpreet spoke about this earlier, but people from different backgrounds and minorities tend to hold doctors at a certain esteem, a certain respect level where they don't want to question them. And often some doctors here, they bring you into your office and they may say, I only want to hear one issue and one complaint. And they don't know that for people that have lived here, you can actually speak about a lot of issues or challenge your doctors or ask for a second opinion. And for this reason, mental health issues tend to go underreported. And this leads to another aspect, which is documentation. And I think Roger can talk about certain strategies and things that we use at our office to help with documentation for our clients.
Yes, thank you, Danny. We have developed this 10-50-90 rule in our office specifically because documentation is everything, especially in the personal injury field. And so we tell clients 10% of what your lawyers are going to say is believed. Now, only 50% of what you're going to tell somebody is going to be believed. But 90% of what is written in actual medical documentation is actually going to be believed. So even though it's you as the complainant or as the injured party that is actually discussing this, it's what is actually in the clinical notes and records that's going to be used along the way when we're trying to actually determine whether or not you're catastrophically impaired or whether or not your matter were to go to a hearing. So I think with that, it's important that we emphasize to clients that when you're discussing these important issues, that you continue to discuss them. It's not just a one-off, I'm going to see the family doctor today and I'm going to discuss this one issue. If you're still having those functional issues, it's important to mention them over and over again, not only to family doctor, your therapist, your physiotherapist, anybody that's on your team, because that's what's going to become extremely important for your case. So I think before we leave this video, I'd like to offer something to the viewers in terms of maybe a tip that they can take away from today in terms of what they may think about before attending a medical assessment or seeing their family doctor when they've got to talk about an issue. So let's just go around the table. Maybe we'll start with you, Rutumi. What's a tip we can give to our viewers?
Yeah, so I think it's important to be able to familiarize yourself with any medical terminology. especially if there's language barriers. I think it would assist in getting the point across and would also make communication easier for both sides.
Great. Danny?
Yeah, and a tip that I have, and we tell our clients this, is don't just talk about your pain levels. And people from different cultures and backgrounds might have a different threshold for pain, and it's very subjective to talk about pain. It's important to talk about function because this is actually what can get you catastrophically impaired. To talk about how your pain affects your ability to work, for example, to complete housekeeping tasks or social activities and things like this.
Excellent.
From my perspective, I think I would make the recommendation that if you are struggling when it comes to language, to communicate your issues, bring someone along. Bring a family member, bring a friend, bring a therapist. Sometimes you might have someone that really is able to communicate and understands your language and obviously English as well, and they're able to convey all of that information to their doctor.
It's a great tip. And Harpreet?
Those are all great suggestions. And if unfortunately you're one of those clients that has a family doctor that's restricting you to just one medical complaint, I'd say make that medical complaint everything. Make sure that you are providing full detail. You are speaking about, again, like Danny said, not just how that one issue might be impacting you in terms of pain, but how it's impacting your function. How is it affecting your ability to work, your ability to take care of yourself, your home, your family? You want to ensure that you elaborate and you provide comprehensive information about that complaint to your medical practitioner.
Absolutely. And I think I would end off by reiterating what we've already said. Don't worry about challenging or asking for a second opinion. It's okay. The Canadian culture is very familiar with this. And I think it's important that if you speak to your doctor and you're not really getting the answers you want, it's okay to question. It's okay to ask for a second opinion. Maybe there's somebody else out there who will better understand your situation. At Foisy Associates, we stand by these choices in how we run our business to best serve people. To us, that's who the people we work with are. Not just clients, but people with their own experiences, background, and culture that we need to work with as we create their case. By understanding each other and supporting the people we work with, we create a more inclusive, supportive environment that helps us get better results for them. I'd like to thank everyone today on the team for chatting with me about this very important topic. We hope that giving further insight into how culture and background impacts our approach to our cases and catastrophic impairment. At Foisy Associates, we offer free consultations and fight to receive maximum dollars for all. Thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you again on our next video.